Good evening, Speedromizer community. Welcome back to the marathon where what you submit is not what you run. We're going to jump right into our next run of Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater by NickRPGreen. Take it away, my friend.
Hello everybody, thank you very much. I am NickRPGreen, and this is Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. I am the teacher for this run. Sadly, my student wasn't able to make it, so they offered me the opportunity to do the run myself, and I'll always jump at the chance to showcase this run because it's one of my favourite speed runs. Very different from Jade Cocoon, which is what I showed off 2 runs ago. But we thought we'd spice things up a bit with a bid war for the category that I'm going to do. The options were any percent very easy, which would have been the original difficulty we were doing, any percent European extreme, or all keratin frogs. So, DJ, which was the category that won?
So, it was a highly contested poll, but at the very end, we will be going after the little mini frogs.
Yes!
All
keratins. You are in for a treat, folks. I absolutely love the all keratins run. So for some understanding, throughout Metal Gear Solid 3, there are 64 little keratin frog statues that make a ribbit sound when you shoot them. We got to shoot all of them. So complete the game whilst shooting every single one. The category is normally run on very easy difficulty because there's no difficulty changes across the category. I have also done European Extreme for this, but we're going to keep it simple with the very easy run. We do have to run this on a new game because you can carry over keratins from previous runs, so we don't want to do that. So time is going to start when I select my difficulty, which will be right here. So let's do this in 3, 2, 1, go!
And we're off.
So we get this little introduction from the man, the myth, the legend, David Hayter himself.
West. This marked the beginning of the era called the Cold War.
And we are straight into cutscene skipping. Luckily, we are allowed to use turbo in Metal Gear Solid 3 to skip cutscenes. Thankfully, codex is very, very easy to skip. You just hold the triangle button. And we are straight into the jungle with Snake. We're going to get to this tree, climb up the tree, grab his backpack, and then the adventure begins. So I'm just going to take a couple of steps over. It's going to drop down. We're going to have another cutscene, and we're going to have another codec call. And we are going to shoot our very first keratin frog. 64 frogs means there's one in nearly every room. There are a couple of exceptions. But our very first one, we're going to run to here, roll up, turn around, and our frog is just there.
Frog.
And you should be able to hear the waka waka, waka waka. 1 down, 63 frogs to go. So as I say, there's one in nearly every room. There are a couple of duplicate rooms because this game's split into like a prologue and then the main game, and anything that we get in the prologue does not carry over to the main game. So this is the Virtuous mission. So here's frog number 2. You get a bit of a better look at it this time. That's frog number 2. 62 to go. Do not worry, I will forget the numbers and I won't count them out every single time. We are introduced to some actual enemies now. Now, because we're on the very easy difficulty, we can breeze through this. We're using a tranquilizer gun, and enemies go down in 1 hit with the tranquilizer gun, no matter where you shoot them. You don't have to get headshots. You don't have to do anything overly special. Just 1 hit, and they're down. And then we're going to turn. Our next frog is all the way over there. I saw it bounce. Luckily, when you shoot it, you get a little. It sort of does a little bounce. You can tell. We also have. There you go. We also have the D mic, which you can also use the D mic to check frogs that are far away. Like these guards, we're going to shoot one. the second one. We wait a moment before shooting the second one. Shoot this guy. Yeah, wait a moment before shooting the second one. If you try and walk over a dead or unconscious body, Snake will slow down. But if that body's still dropping to the floor, then he doesn't slow down. So we just wait a second. And into Rasvet. Shoot this guard. Now there is a frog in here, but we're going to get him on the way out. So we're going to ignore the frog for the moment. We're going to roll into here. We reach our mission objective. Behind this door is a Soviet scientist who has defected. His name is Sokolov. We are here to rescue him and take him back to the US. Unfortunately, we are ambushed by the Ocelot unit, which Snake dispatches very easily. There's the frog. We shoot that. So yes, there's an awesome cutscene where Snake does loads of CQC, takes out all these guards, but we don't get to see it. They're all unconscious. But Sokolov did get taken, so we now just need to run after him, and that'll be it. We'll get him back. Everything will be fine, and we definitely won't have our old mentor swap sides, betray us, throw us off a bridge, and then we'll have to heal. Oh, and that's a bad miss. So yes, it's all gone horribly wrong. We're going to play a little bit of Trauma Center to fix Snake up. It's always the same, so we just do a very quick up, moves to that one, another cut, and then we've got a couple of broken bones, so a bandage is splint on each of those, and that is the Virtuous mission now complete. We've completed the prologue. We move on to Operation Snake Eater, which is the main bulk of the game. And we're going to start to see some more of those very easy mechanics. We're going to see the thing that makes very easy, very easy. So if you are interested in running this game, it is a very easy game to get into. I wouldn't recommend jumping straight into all Keratons. But with very easy, you get the easy gun. The easy gun does a lot of stuff, and it is what makes this category this category. It gives you a persistent 80% camo rating. You'll see my camo rating in the top right-hand corner is 80%, and it's blue to show that it is a fixed camo rating. It has infinite ammo. It is a tranquilizer. It's a one-shot tranquilizer. It's silenced. It's got a laser sight. It restores Snake's stamina. It stops Snake's hands from trembling if he's got too low stamina. There's so much going on with it. But now we need to backtrack. Normally, you saw I started to move up. We need to go back to these rooms that we came from in the Virtuous mission. Because as I said before, the frogs that we got during the Virtuous mission do not carry over into Operation Snake Eater. We've got to go all the way back to the very first room. You would never visit these rooms in any other run. You'd never go back. There are some other collectibles category extensions, such as Markor, which is get every plant and animal. There's an all camos run. But I don't believe any of those runs go this far back. Only this one does. And the very easy gun makes this a lot handier. At this point in the game, there was a cutscene that we skipped where Snake encounters his old mentor, the boss, the one who's betrayed him, and she takes out his only gun. She destroys it. So this next section you would normally play without a gun, except we have the easy gun, so we can shoot that frog from that distance there. And these next few frogs we're going to get, we can shoot. In all other categories, all of the difficulties of this category, you would have to throw grenades, like hit the frogs with the grenade. Not throw a grenade near it, actually hit the frog with the grenade that you're throwing. Yeah, we do that in the European Extreme version of this run. It's very, very tight. But it's kind of nice to be showing like the beginner-friendly version of this. So now we'll start making our way back again. We're going to roll over here. Our next frog, you'll see the frogs have moved as well. They're not in the same location that they were the first time we went through this. So we shoot that one, and we can, in a very short moment, we will get back on track with Dramuchi North. Again, we've got another frog in here to go. We'll have another frog in Dolonovano. We'll have another frog in Razver, and then that's it. We've done with all of the additional frogs. Our next frog is getting ahead of myself. Do that guy from a distance here. Our next frog is just up here. Far forwards. There we go. There he is. That one. I've already lost count. I said I wouldn't remember the count. I can't remember how many I've shot. How many we've got left. Unless anyone else has been keeping count.
I lost track.
It doesn't take long. Particularly when you're backtracking to do frogs that you've done before. Gonna run down here. You can see how powerful that 80%... Oh, never mind. I was going to say, you can see how powerful that 80% camo rating is. I was going to try and get past him without him actually spotting me, but it failed. But he hasn't called in the alert on his radio, so it doesn't continue. We're all good. So our next frog is now here. There is another guard down there, but he's not going to see us. We're going to move into our back. We're going to come across our first boss. Now, bosses and keratins vary. Sometimes you will have to get a boss. You'll have to shoot a frog during a boss fight. Sometimes you will get to shoot the frog either before or after the boss fight. This first boss fight is against the Ocelot unit. And luckily, it takes place in here, in Razvet. So we can shoot the frog before we start the fight. And the frog is now under here. We get a nice close. There you go. That's what the frog looks like. There you go. It'll give you a nice close-up view of that lovely little dude. Right. So we go into the boss fight now. Hopefully, this is going to end very, very quickly. Very Easy has a really cool version of this fight. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn around. We're going to take a stun grenade, throw it out that window. Hopefully that takes out 2 guards, and it did. We're going to throw another stun grenade there. I'm going to roll out that window, and that should be the fight. Boom. That's all 7 Ocelot units, guards taken out in seconds. Wonderful. We can move on. We already have the frog. We took the frog out before we took on the Ocelot unit. So we can move into the next area, Chorny Prud. This is a massive swamp. We're going to swim all the way over to the other side, shoot the frog on the other side. So this is a really good opportunity for any messages about the charity or the marathon.
Yeah. So real quick, we are currently raising money for QMUNITY. QMUNITY is British Columbia's queer, trans, and two-spirit resource center and has helped over 13,000 people per year since 2022, province-wide resource center, delivering programs and services, and providing a safe space for two-spirit, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersexual, and asexual folks and their allies. And with your help today, QMUNITY can ensure that nobody in British Columbia gets left behind. And if you would like to donate to QMUNITY, !donate. Get your donations in. Tell us about your favorite keratin or favorite frog.
Now going to move through Bolshire South. Very, very simple room. There's a gap in the fence here that we can go through. And these next couple of rooms are really good examples of how keratins changes up the run. So this room, we do pretty much exactly as you would do it normally. If you were seeing a very easy any percent run, this is exactly how you would see this room be tackled. There's one slight difference. Just as we get to here, I'm going to turn, I'm going to shoot the frog in between those trees. If I can get my aim right, there we go. And then move on. And that's it. So for this room, getting the keratin is just as simple as stopping at one point, taking the frog, and then carrying on. We now move into Bolshire Past Base, which is the complete opposite. This is a room where keratins makes us completely reroute the entire room. Normally, we would just head straight up north towards that guard over there, but instead we need to go inside the little base. So we're going to shoot this guard. He's down. We're going to roll through this window. The frog is under here, so we'll give him a little tap. And then there's another guard there, so take him out. And we are going to go into our next boss fight, which is against Revolver Ocelot. Ocelot being an example of a boss where we do need to take out the frog during the fight. So we are going to whip out the easy gun, take a shot, throw a stun grenade at him, turn around. The frog, whilst the stun is going off, is there. We need to throw another stun grenade quickly, because that was a bit slow. I got him. I was a little bit slow shooting that frog, so we just got to finish the fight. Luckily, it's not particularly difficult, particularly if I can get a headshot on him. Oh, I got his hat at least. There we go, that's a headshot, and that's the fight.
Yo,
A
let's go.
little bit messy there, but at least we got the frog. That's the important thing.
We got the frog and the hat.
Frog and the hat. You get, but there you go. Bonus hat for everyone. Now we are in the caves. Do not adjust your stream. It is this dark. It's quite difficult to see. But one of the nice things about the Metal Gear series is there's always little perks and little things about the game that make it a little bit special, a little bit different. And one perk of the cave here is the longer you stay in this cave, the brighter it gets. Because the brightness being turned up simulates the fact that Snake's eyes are getting used to the darkness. You know, if you're in the dark, after a while your eyes will get used to it and you'll be able to see better. So yeah, the longer you stay in this room, the lighter it gets, and it does get easier as we go along. There's a keratin at the end of this really long path. It is in the dark, so I can't really see. I know roughly whereabouts it is, but shooting near it creates just a little bit of light. I'll actually be able to... There we go. Oh, it's over here. There we go. Thankfully, we've got infinite ammo, so we don't have to worry too much about using up too many shots. We'll go for a nice long swim, and we just go back round the cave again. Exactly the same as we did the first time round. We just go back through it. We have a nice big stamina bar, which doesn't go down very quickly. We have a nice big health bar that doesn't go down very quickly either. More perks for the very easy category. Now we need to go the correct way. There's going to be an entrance hole there. There it is. When the Master Collection first released, this is being run on the PC version of the Master Collection. When it first released, I think they did something with brightness here. It was a lot easier to see. I think one of the later patches knocked it down a little bit because something changed and I've never been able to see properly in this room again. But we are nearly out. Thankfully, this is the only cave room in the run that is this dark. You'll soon be able to see what's going on in a minute. So we are moving towards our next boss fight, and we're back onto another boss where thankfully we don't have to worry about the keratin mid-fight. We're just gonna around here. And get ready to shoot the keratin just before. So the next boss that we're coming up against is the Pain. He's the master of bees. He loves his bees, does the Pain. His boss fight arena is right here. Thankfully, the keratin is there, so we can shoot it before we go in. And I missed. There we go, got it that time. And in we go, fight against the Pain. The Pain on very easy. You just want to get the easy gun out, and you just want to keep shooting him. And that's it. We're just going to keep shooting him. Eventually, he's going to put his armor on, so we're just going to throw a stun grenade at him. His bee armor. That is phase 1 of the fight over. Warning for white flashes as well. Apologies, I should have mentioned that before. He decided to dodge that stun just at the last second. That was a bit annoying. We just keep shooting him over and over again. We don't even try and go for headshots or anything like that. Just keep shooting. Just keep blasting. And eventually he goes down. So that's the Pain. That's the first member of the Cobra unit defeated. Into Peshera Cave entrance. This frog's a little dangerous. There's some Claymore mines near it, so we do have to be a little bit careful. There's going to be a little cave that we have to enter because we can't shoot the frog from the other side of the cave, unfortunately. We're going to do a few rolls as we go up here. It's quite hilly. We haven't picked up the cardboard box yet. It's a very, very important weapon for very, very important items for later in the run. But it's above this little cave entrance. We can only see him from the inside, so we'll take him out. There we go. And head up this slope into the next area. I'm going to try and do a little out of bounds glitch. It doesn't save us any time, but it's pretty cool. One time where you can go out of bounds and it doesn't kill Snake. If I can... Yay, there we go. Out of bounds. Doesn't do anything. It's just for show, but it's pretty funky. I think you can do that on pretty much any version of this game, but there are some versions of the game where doing so is could cause you to take a death, or the chances of taking a death, because you will hit a death plane in some versions of the game. Pretty safe to do it on the Master Collection. Going to go for a swim, and here we're going to do another deviation from the normal any percent route. Normally you would take that right fork there, but there's an extra room here, and of course there's a frog in it, so we have to go and get this frog as well. The purpose of this room casually is the SVD sniper rifle is in this room, and you can grab the sniper rifle in order to take one of the bosses out early. If you know the game, you'll know exactly which bit I'm talking about, but the frog is just behind there. We can hear it croaking, so I know I've got it. And that's it. We'll now swim back around. Thankfully, we've got plenty of stamina. Our breath, we don't have to worry about holding our breath. We will lose a little bit of health, but it's not an issue. There we go, and back out again. So in this next room, we're going to encounter the End. It's a sniper boss that we're going to take out later. But here, you could use the SVD to kill him early. It's not worth it in a speedrun. It doesn't actually save you any time. And also, we want his weapon for later on anyway. So here, we're going to do a couple of things. I'm going to shoot that guy once. I'm going to do all of that. That takes a big chunk of health out of the End. And then we're going to go for a swim. I shot that guard first. He's calling in some reinforcements. By shooting him, it gets him to turn around. And because he's turned around, he spotted me. And him spotting me has delayed the reinforcements from coming in. Apparently not quite enough. Oh, no, we're good. So the guards there with riot shields, they will if you come into contact with them, they will just knock you to the ground. So I got quite lucky there that I managed to get around them. We'll grab the cardboard box. Our next frog is up here, so we'll take him out. And then run through this room. Take out that guy. Roll up some stairs. Roll up some more stairs. Listen to the adorable frog. Snake's hitbox when he's rolling. Massive. Absolutely massive. Look at that guard from a good meter away. And we have a backtrack later in the run. There's the warehouse that we've just exited from has another exit. So we're going to be going back to that warehouse. And this room right here is our next boss fight. Luckily, again, we can take out the frog now. And we don't have to take out the frog during the boss fight. So we're going to head into the lab. Here we are looking for another Soviet scientist called Granin. We want to learn from him where we can get to Groznygrad, what the case is with the nuclear weapon that's supposed to be being built, aka the Shagohods. There's a frog in this room, but we're going to ignore it. We'll take the frog out on the way back. I'm going to head inside the base. And here, we are going to do an intended warp. This is a warp that is supposed to be in the game. This isn't some sort of glitch or anything like that. The frog is there, so we're just going to aim... What you can't see... There we go, got it. And now we're going to put on the scientist camo. So Snake is given this scientist disguise. Huh? Anyone of you want to see me? There we go. So Snake is given this scientist disguise so that he can disguise himself on the way in. But because we're outside the building, the guards think I'm trying to escape as a scientist. So they take me back to the lab. They put me in a cell. And now we're just going to quickly swap camos. Whip out the easy gun again, and the next frog is right here, and that's why we do that warp.
I think I saw. Who's that?
Oh, take him out. That's fine. He didn't call in that alert, so that alert will wear off. That's fine. So here we could keep the scientist camo on. So that guards don't know who we are, but we want to be able to shoot keratins in here. So there's a keratin on top of that locker. We can shoot him from there. Roll through this window. Come on, Snake. There we go. Second time's the charm. and roll down here. So this is our destination. This is where we're heading to. In a normal any percent run, if this wasn't all keratins, you wouldn't be shooting, you wouldn't be changing into the scientist camo anyway. The scientist camo, you wouldn't be changing into it. It's with the easy gun, it's very, very easy to get through this whole thing without being spotted. So speak to Granin. Granin explains that he doesn't like what's going on anyway, so he gives us the key to move on and tells us all about the Shagohard. We need to get to Groznygrad. We're going to shoot the scientist again. Just by staying on the right-hand side there, that scientist can't see us. We're going to shoot that scientist. Frog's there, we'll shoot it. And then in this locker, we are going to pick up the handkerchief. There's a very slight time save by using the handkerchief. There you go. That's the power of the 80% camo rating. That guard that I walked past, my camo rating was enough where he kind of spotted me, but not enough to know that I was an enemy. So we're done in here. We can now start heading back, and we're going to head to our next boss fight, which is the Fear. Now, the Fear is very, very cheesy, the way that we deal with it. And the Fear has a glitch. We don't know why this glitch exists, but it does. And the glitch with the Fear is that anytime you stun him with a stun grenade, any damage from that point on, whether it's lethal or not, will always be done as non-lethal damage. So hit him with a stun grenade and then start shooting him with a standard gun, it will still do non-lethal damage. So we can take him out with his stamina very, very quickly, as opposed to taking him out with by his health instead. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to move to here. Just before we go into the fight, I'm going to swap to stun grenades. And we're going to move in. So, fight starts. We are immediately going to use a fake death pill. So this is a pill that simulates death. Snake has a revival pill in his tooth. We wait for the Fear here to sort of start to wander towards us. There we go. Use the revival pill. And then for a stun grenade directly on the floor, turn around, knife out. And give him a good old stab. And as you saw, his stamina depleted instead of his health. We don't know why that glitch exists, but it's really, really useful for that fight. Particularly as in, by the time you get to European extreme difficulty, you want to be taking everyone out with stamina anyway, because it's for the top rank in the game, you want 0 kills. Roll over here. We're going to do a little trick there where we can grab this ledge and get over. We already took the frog out in that room. We don't need to go back to it. And just before we move on, I am going to do a bit of curing, just to be on the safe side. So we're just going to pop into here. We've got a leech on us, so we'll secure that. And we've got the venom poison. We're not going to pull out the arrow, though. That is something specifically in the speedrun that we don't want to do. For some reason, again, there's a lot of things where we don't really understand the reasons for this. Next keratin. By leaving the arrow in Snake's leg, that's a scripted arrow that the Fear shot us with that arrow at the start of his boss fight, or the cutscene before his boss fight. By leaving that arrow in, it means that when we start the fight against the End, which is going to happen in a couple of screens' time, the End will always start in a prone position, so lying on his front. If you take the arrow out, there's a chance he'll start in a kneeling position, and it's not as good a fight. Oh. Okay, that guard hasn't noticed us. We'll just leave him alone. We don't need to get him involved in anything. The End boss fight is in the next room, but we have got another side room that we need to go and... Oh.
The enemy! He's here! Huh?
There we go. Just knock him out. There we go. That'll knock him out and he's done with. So just before we go into the room in the north there, we've just got this side room here where there's one frog to take care of. This frog's a fair distance away. He's through a window as well. But he's fairly easy, particularly with the easy gun. The easy gun lets you zoom in as well. I think another perk about the easy gun that I haven't mentioned yet. So we're going to get to about here. It's just in that window. I'm pretty sure I saw him move. There we go. We use the in every difficulty, every normal run of this game, you want to try and deal with him straight away. You don't let him escape. You keep him in some sort of loop so he doesn't escape, and you take him out in one go. You don't want to do that in all Keratons, and particularly in this version, it actually adds some RNG. We have a big RNG moment in the run, which doesn't exist in any other, as far as I'm aware, in any other category of Metal Gear Solid 3. What we're going to do is we're going to run towards him. We've got the easy gun out, so he's not going to see us. He always starts in the same position, and because we still got the arrow in our leg, he's going to start prone. Get to here, and he is there. So 2 shots for a stun grenade at him. He shot me, but that's fine. We don't need to worry about that. And now we just want to do a bit more damage to him, but not enough to take him out. Which way is he running? He's running to the right. Now, unfortunately, that is bad RNG. So he's run off to the right, so we're going to go and chase him down. Ideally, we want him to run to the left. When he runs to the left, he starts in the same location every time. One of the frogs that we need is right at the start of the left room. So unfortunately, we're going to have to do a bit of backtracking to go and get that after we finish the fight. In here, when he moves to the right, there's several different locations. Oh, he's right there. That's very handy. That's nicer RNG. At least he was right there.
Let's go.
So I'm quite pleased. I'm quite pleased with that.
So I do have a question real quick. Why don't you take him? I was gonna say, why don't you take him out in that first room if he's at such low stamina?
Because if let me grab that. Because if you can get the fast version, it's a lot quicker. Because what we're now going to do is we are going to backtrack for the one frog that we've missed. But if he goes to the left, he goes into this room where this frog is, and you can take out this frog as part of routing to kill him.
Okay.
So yeah, this bit that we're doing now, you completely cut out this time if you get the good RNG. So here, we're going to get the Mosing the gun out. The frog's right there at the end. Take a shot. There we go. Done. Let's put the cardboard box back on. Easy gun out. Now, the cardboard box we're finally using, and it's very, very powerful in Metal Gear Solid 3. For 2 main reasons. For one, it is flameproof. It doesn't catch fire, so it's very useful in the boss fight against the Fury. But also, you can see that I am not slowing down while I'm going up this hill. Because Metal Gear Solid 3 is the first game in the series really to use elevation. Metal Gear Solid 2 had staircases, but it didn't have hills. Metal Gear Solid 3 introduced hills, and every time you go up and down hills, Snake changes his running animation. It slows down. But they didn't add that same animation change when using the cardboard box, so it's quicker to run up and down hills wearing the cardboard box. Here's the next frog. There he is. And we now come to the big long ladder. Of course, it's an iconic moment in the series. And we're going to do what we always tend to do with this, which is we're just going to be nice and quiet and just enjoy Snake Eater.
What a thrill, with darkness and silence through the night. What a thrill. I'm searching and I'm melting to you. What a fear in my heart, but you're so supreme. I give my
Beautiful. Always love to just let that play.
10 out of 10.
Right, so so we move into the next act of the game. We're just moving through some mountains here. There's not really a lot. We're going to see the power of the cardboard box and these hills, but for the most part, it's just a little bit of running and a little bit of frog shooting. So if you want to jump in with anything, DJ, now's a great time for it.
Yeah. So nothing to jump in with in terms of donations. However, if you're wondering, what this is all about and who we are Speedromizer. This is a charity marathon with a twist, where what you submit is not what you run. Runners are randomly shuffled. Runners and submissions are randomly shuffled, and then have 90 days to learn their new game. If this is an awesome concept that you think you'd like to check out, come check out our Discord at speedromizer.live/Discord. Over 150 runners have learned over 200 individual games since 2023.
Here we go. You will notice that guard fell off the hill. Technically not a kill. That would be classed as an environmental. Make sure I take him out to lose that caution again. There we go. Guards falling off the hill, even though we were the one who knocked him off, it still counts as an environmental kill and would not count towards the kill count at the end of the run. We've got our next frog here. We need to... It's just on top of this building, so we have to take it out from a bit of a distance there. It also distracts that guard. Roll into here, grab the RPG-7, the rocket launcher. We're going to need that later. Hopefully that alert shouldn't carry on over. And it has. Oh, that's annoying. Okay. So we've got an alert here that carried over. Now, there's a door coming up. Oh, please don't tell me that's... No, that hasn't lost me my cardboard box. There's a door coming up where if you're on an alert or an evasion, it won't open. The exception is if you enter the room with an alert... I'm going to get hit by that rocket probably. Yep. If you enter the room on an alert and you manage to keep that alert the whole time, then you can still go through the door. So as long as I don't lose this alert that I've got, this door should still be open. Brilliant. So lost minimal time there for that. We didn't get the frog in that room. That's fine. We get it on the way back. So we're going to be going back here. There was a frog in this room. Now, normally, you just whip out the Mosin Nagant, but it's if I can get it. Oh, just missed it. There we go. Two attempts to shoot the long frog there. Wonderful.
Very nice.
There's one here in the ruins, so we're going to hop down here and shoot that one there. And now we're back into the mountaintop that we've just escaped from. And it is easier to shoot the frog on the way back anyway, regardless of that alert. We're just going to hop up here, over there. And then just before we head down, there's a door that we now have a key for. The frog's there. Shoot the frog. And quickly move through this door. We're coming up against the next boss, the Fury. The Fury is quite heavily RNG based. It tends to be one of the biggest run killers. It's a very tricky boss, particularly on harder difficulties. With very easy, it's not too difficult because we've got a massive health bar, but it's very difficult to do quickly because he can be so random. Thankfully, we can deal with the frog. There we go. Deal with the frog before we go into the fight. And the Fury is the main reason why we definitely want to do the end boss fight. We've got the end weapon, the Mosin Nagant, his tranquilizer sniper rifle. And it is essential for taking out the Fury. He's shooting. And he's gone for a flight. That's not great RNG. We're hoping he would just stay still. Oh, but he's flown back to here. That's nice, and that's the fight. Yeah, ideally you want the end. You want the fear, the Fury. Good God, it took me 3 attempts to get the right name of the boss there. you want the Fury to stay still, and he can do sometimes. He'll just sort of stop, charge up, and get ready to move out. He didn't do that on this occasion. That was okay. At least we got some good RNG with the rest of it. Now we're in Groznygrad, and we've got 4 frogs outside to take care of. The first one is there, and I missed that. There we go, got him. So we have to take quite a different route through Groznygrad than we normally would do to get all 4 frogs. We're going to take out 3 of them now. We are going to return to Groznygrad later in the run, and we'll take out the 4th one there. The second one is here on top of this door. Wacka wacka. Wacka wacka. Avoid that cardboard box because we don't need it. Just one more item to put in a menu. And then the frog for the next room is in this vent. It's the only time we ever really go vent crawling in any run of this game. We move through into the next room. There we go. Transition into the next room. Still in the vent, but in the next room. The frog is just around this first corner. And then we're going to turn around and go back again, because it is quicker to turn around and go back than it is to keep going and leave the room a different way. So, turn the corner, there's the frog. How this frog got down here in the first place, nobody knows. But yeah, we now just turn around and go back again. So that's the 3 outside frogs. As I say, we come back for the 4th one later. We've still got a couple more frogs to go before the next sort of set piece. Just going to make our way back here.
Time for a quick donation?
Now's a good time. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so I have a $49 donation from Shooky that says, I'm still in a dream, Snake Eater. And that was
beautiful.
Thank you. And that was for the Ghostland Yard bonus run, Apocalypse World 1, which I'm happy to say has been met.
Woohoo!
And we are currently sitting at $549.99.
So we now need to grab Rykov here. We need to grab his clothes. The next frog is there. And there's 2 different ways of tackling Rykov here. There's the fast way and the slightly slower way. Unfortunately, we got the slightly slower way. I managed to shoot him immediately. The slightly faster way is you don't shoot him, you distract him. And you get him to run into this room and grab him. This is one of my favourite frogs when it goes the other way, because it's one frog that you shoot whilst choke holding a guard. You actually hold Rykov in a hold and shoot the frog whilst holding him, which is pretty cool. We're now going to move on. Before we don't want to change into his costume just yet, but we got time for one cool little glitch. This is called the box glide. Whee! And it's like one of the only major glitches in the run that sort of works like that. Am I all right here? I think so. I don't think the guards at the other end can see me. No, we're good. There's a frog there. I think it looks like that bounced, but I'm going to double check with the mic just to be on the safe side. So we did get it. You can only shoot that frog with a lethal weapon. You can't shoot it with a tranquilizer. Now we get into the officer costume. You can't use weapons whilst in the officer costume. That's why we waited until that point. And we're going to head inside. So we are disguised ourselves as Major Rykov to try and gain entry. Unfortunately, we're going to encounter the big bad of the game, Volgin, who's also Rykov's lover. So can tell that Snake is in disguise because he knows Rykov very intimately. I have now muted the game audio. We are in an unskippable cutscene. This is a first-person perspective from Snake. Snake has got a bag over his head, so he can't see anything. So everything is black. At this moment in time, Volgin is torturing Sokolov. He is beating him up. And it is implied that he kills him. We later learn in the next game of the series, Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops, that he survived. He used a fake death pill himself to feign death. So he doesn't actually die. But this scene is because it's black, all we've got is the audio. I can still hear it. You guys can't because I've muted the audio. But it's not pleasant to listen to. So we normally during a marathon run, we would, in fact, whenever I stream this game on my own channel, I always mute this because nobody ever wants to listen to it. It's just horrible. Torture's not good. I think if we can say anything with complete sincerity, it's torture is not fun.
It's very unpleasant.
We just ignore it. Yeah, now's probably just a good time just to have a bit of a chat since there's nothing to listen to.
Yeah. So, how's the run going so far? How do you feel it's going?
It's going well. I have got live split open to keep an eye on it. If it wasn't for the bad RNG with the end, we'd probably be close to world record pace. But unfortunately, that RNG, the end going the right hand side instead of the left hand side, does slow things down a little bit.
Got it.
But apart from that, it's been pretty smooth so far, and that's the great thing about the very easy run. It's very easy to pick up and get into. I'd highly recommend this. In fact, if you've never ran a Metal Gear game before, this is a brilliant entry point.
Yeah, I was looking into running this game, and I've been trying to run this game for the past couple of years now. So we're now in the torture room. We have a code to get out, which is 144.75. So we just ring that. The door gets unlocked, and we're going to swap to the SAA. Oh, there's Johnny. Oh, he stabbed me. We need to knock him out. There we go. Because he has some smoke grenades on him. Because we're in another room, and there is a keratin to be had. So we need his smoke grenades so that we can throw... Oh, there we go. Throw a smoke grenade at the keratin. And then get out. So now we are escaping Groznygrad. We have no equipment. We have nothing on us at all. Snake's also had his eye shot out. I believe it's his... I want to say his right eye. Next time I go into first-person view, you'll notice that one side of the screen is really blurry and is sort of like vignetted off as to simulate the fact that Snake has lost an eye, which is really cool, but not as cool as the 3DS version of the game. So yes, this game was ported to 3DS. Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater 3D. And it's not a very good port. It runs at 12 FPS. I cannot recommend it. However, one of the really cool things, obviously the 3DS had the 3D functionality. And from this point onwards, whenever you go into first person, or you're going into third person aiming, because it has third person aiming as well in that version of the game, the 3D functionality does not work and is switched off, because this reflects the fact that Snake's lost an eye, so has therefore lost his depth perception, and so the 3D aspect doesn't work anymore, which I think is a really cool use of the console's mechanics. But don't play it. It's not a good experience. It is this game rebuilt in the Peace Walker engine, which was designed for the PSP. But putting it onto the 3DS was not as powerful as the PSP. Yeah, the game does not run very well. We move through the sewers. The sewers here is one example of a room that has no frog. This is one of the only rooms in the game that does not have a keratin frog, even though we've actually got plenty of opportunities to get ammo, grenades. We could have ammo for our one gun that we've got right now. But no, the game didn't decide to put a frog in this room. We're going to go into our next quote-unquote boss fight. This is against the Sorrow. It's not really a boss fight, and we're gonna cheese it and end it very, very early. But if you remember back in the lab, we grabbed a handkerchief. And because we're running the PC version, the handkerchief is going to speed us up. So we're just going to quickly equip it. By using the handkerchief 3 times in front of us, it's going to immediately knock Snake out. He's going to fall in the water and drown. We want Snake to die so that we can use the revival pill, because he's basically in a dream state at this point. Now, the reason
that this is a time save in the PC version. With a time save, that wouldn't be a time save in the console version of the game. Any console version of the game, because any console version of this run uses... Oh, I nearly forgot a frog. Whoops, there's a frog right there. So we'll just quickly backtrack, grab that frog. There we go, got him. Woo! Console versions of the run uses the in-game time, IGT, as its timing method. Oh, go on, Snake! Yay! We got across the other side. Phew! That would have been a little bit of a time loss if I'd fallen in the water. So yeah, the console runs use IGT for their timing method, whereas the PC version, because loading times are inconsistent in this, particularly depending on your hardware, the PC version instead uses loading removed time. So essentially, it's RTA but with loads removed, and the section with the sorrow, the IGT pauses during that section. So if you're doing any run where it's IGT based, you can stay in that sorrow fight as long as you like and it will not affect your final time. But if you're doing the PC version where it's essentially RTA, you want it to end as quickly as possible, which is why we grab the handkerchief and do it that way. So it's weird that the game has sort of these little perks in between some versions of the game. I'm gonna shoot that frog there. And head up. So we're going back into Groznygrad now. We're actually going to go into the final outside room with the frog that we didn't get before. We're going to go in. Before we do anything else, we've got a little bit of inventory management to do. We need the cardboard box B. We want to keep that out, put that away. Actually, no, put that away. Put that away. Get out the SVD. Get out the Mosin Nagant. Actually, no, we don't need the Mosin Nagant. That out. Stun grenades out. Smoke grenades away. C3 out, and we're good. Got everything that we need now. Pop the cardboard box on. Get the easy gun out, and we are just gonna run over to another intended warp. There is still the frog in this room to get, so we'll make sure we get him just before we leave. He's up there on that little set of steps. Return. Beat the frog. Lovely. And the game has sort of a transport mechanic with the cardboard boxes. There's a few trucks lying around, and the different boxes take you to different locations. We want to be inside the weapons lab, and this warp takes us inside the weapons lab. We're going to come across a keratin frog in this room called Knuckles. We call this one Knuckles. The first time I ever showcased the European Extreme version of this run was for Preventathon 3. And at this point in the run, me and the host Alara were talking about an upcoming donation incentive for which character you got to play as in an upcoming Sonic run, and we were just constantly talking about Knuckles. I was like, Knuckles, put your money on Knuckles, Knuckles. And because we were so distracted by talking about Knuckles, I forgot this frog. It was the only frog in the run that I forgot, so it was not a valid keratin run. And so... Take him out. And so I therefore dubbed this frog Knuckles. So let's take care of Knuckles. Bit of an awkward position. Missed. Got him. And then drop the C3. And that's the end of that. We're going to go into another boss fight. This is against the main antagonist, Volgin. We do have a frog to take care of in this fight, so I'm immediately going to turn. Take out the frog. Successfully dodge the attack that he's asked me to dodge, and then we're gonna throw him to the ground, grab the SVD and shoot him a few times in the head. That's the end of phase 1. Phase 2, we're just going to do a roll, dodge his first attack, and once he's out, take him out with the SVD. Done. And that's Volgin. He's not dead though. It's not over yet. We're now going to move into the bike chase sequence. The Shagahod is chasing us. We can shoot it and do damage to it, but we don't need to because we don't need to. But there are frogs in every section of this, and if you're doing keratin frogs like for the first time, these are sections you want to check and make sure that you're dealing with these frogs correctly, because for most other frogs in the game, if you forget one, you can go back into a previous room and do them again, and there's no problem. I almost forgot a frog as we went into the waterfall area, and I just walked backwards. With these bike chase sections, if you miss one of these frogs and go into the next room, that's it. Your run is dead. There is nothing you can do. There'll be some sections where we actually want to do damage or be prepared to take a death if we miss the frog. That's not going to happen. Well, hopefully that doesn't happen. I'm pretty well versed in this category by now. I am the current world record holder both for very easy and European Extreme. I should say European Extremes by default. No one else has ever submitted a European Extreme run, but there are a couple of other people who have submitted very easy runs of this. But if you've not ran Metal Gear Solid 3 before, I'd highly recommend giving it a go. In preparation for Speedromizer, when I originally was going to teach it, I did do a very easy tutorial video. You can find that on my YouTube channel. So yeah, it's very easy to get into this game now. The game's so much more accessible. The Master Collection was an absolute godsend. Before the Master Collection came along, Metal Gear Solid 3 was one of the most inaccessible games in the series. In fact, the best way of playing Metal Gear Solid 3 before the Master Collection was to have a digital copy of the Xbox 360 version of the HD collection and play that on an Xbox Series S or X. And before that, it was play the PS3 version, which has some horrible lag in it. Particularly during these bike chase sections. If you play the PS3 version of the Master Collection, got the frog? Then these sections, you kind of just want to look up at all times to reduce frame rate lag. It was quite nasty, but it's only a few years ago where that was the best way of playing Metal Gear Solid 3. So yes, we were all very, very thankful for the introduction of the Master Collection. And with the Master Collection, you're absolutely fine playing the PC version, the PS5 or PS4 version's fine. Obviously the Xbox Series S and X version is great. They're all fantastic for speedrunning. Yes, there was one version I omitted from that list, which is not good for speedrunning. Although, assuming it's backwards compatible, you'll probably find that running the Nintendo Switch version of this on a Switch 2 is probably fine. I just wouldn't run it on a Switch 1. So we're now moving into these runway sections. There are frogs in the next two rooms on top of these blocks, these counters. I'm going to make sure that I take them out as we go along. Again, if I miss, I need to very, very quickly take a death so that I can reset and try again. But okay, hopefully I don't miss. It's coming up. It is. You can see it just there. It's going to be easier to take out now. There we go. You see it bounce. Just hear it on the way back, on the way past as well. So just take out these guards. We're in no danger whatsoever of dying or anything like that. We can do whatever we want during these sections. If you're on higher difficulties, you do want to be a bit more careful. But with this, we could just ignore these guards if we really wanted to. It doesn't make a difference. As long as we're not opening and closing menus and slowing us down, then there's no issue with just hanging around. It's got our next frog, our final runway frog. I'm just going to take out some of these guards just so that they don't interfere. And the frog is... there he is. There we go. I saw it bounce. There we go. Shot it again just for good measure. And now we're going to do some damage to the Shagohod. The more damage you do to the Shagohod now, the less health it has in the boss fight in a couple of rooms. Ideally, you don't want to hit it in a position where it slows down like that. But on this difficulty, it does not take much damage. You can see his health is going down fairly quickly. There is a limit. After a certain amount of time, I won't be able to do any more damage. And the amount of damage that you do eventually... there we go. I've hit the limit. I've hit the limit, but we want to keep shooting him because otherwise he'll start attacking us. This just keeps him in a loop so he can't do anything. It is quite funny that one of his lines is you're wasting your ammo. You may notice I have infinite ammo. Whilst on the bike, you have infinite ammo for all weapons. There is a frog here. There he is. Take out the frog.
Keep your aim steady.
And here's the C3 that we need to take out. Whilst in this aim, Snake has perfect aim.
Keep your aim steady.
I will shoot this C3 without any issue because Snake's aim is perfect at this point.
It's here.
There we go. Now we go into the Shagohod fight. There is a loop that we want to try and get, so we want to shoot the Shagohod's tread there. Excellent. There's a frog over there, so we're going to try and shoot it. I'm going to wait for the wheels to screech, shoot, and shoot the tread, and that should keep it in a loop. And then one more hit, and that's the first phase of the Shagohod done. Lovely. Move into phase 2. Shoot now. We're going to get the SVD out. Shoot the frog. And... oh, wasn't quite quick enough on that. That should take the tread. Excellent. Which distracts Volgin again, and one shot. And that's him dead. That is the end of Volgin. Volgin is now taken care of. He is definitely 100% dead. He gets struck by lightning. He kind of explodes. He's back in Metal Gear Solid 5. Nobody ever dies in this series.
Yeah, that's another game I need to play is MGS3.
I'm going to be perfectly honest, because we're in the bike case, I cannot hear you. This bit is a lot louder. We are going to be coming across one of the nastiest frogs in the game. My community dubbed this frog Hell Frog, and in fact my computer that I'm running off, my computer's name is Hell Frog, named after this frog. It's not that difficult to get. After a bit of practice, it's not too bad. The problem with this frog is it is right at the exit of the room. And remember what I said about bike chase? Any frog that you miss, that's it, your run is dead. So if you miss this frog, then your run's over. There is no coming back, because you do not have enough time to take a death. No, if you're a beginner at this run, what you would do is throughout this room is slowly chip away at your health, so you have barely any health left. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap to the RPG, and we are just going to blast.
Over there.
Wacka wacka. We can hear it quacking. There we go. All good. We've successfully taken out Hellfrog. Our next frog is just here. He's going to be coming up in just a second. And with these ones, you don't want to blast. Just prepare your aim. The explosion blast is really large. You have plenty of opportunity to take it out. It doesn't need to be a direct hit at all. So you don't want to blast that. You know, don't go trying to blast over and over to try and hit it. Just one well-timed blast. You have plenty of time to line it up. We'll do exactly the same thing in the next room. The next room is the final bike chase room, so then we're done with these really dangerous miss them and you mess up the whole run frogs. But for the rest of this room, again, we can just shoot, just blast. There's going to be a bit coming up where there's going to be some logs, and Eva is going to tell us to shoot the logs. Through checking on live split, because we can have it down to the millimeter, we use the auto splitter. I did discover that getting hit by the log and failing to shoot it is faster by 1/10 of a second. It also delivers one of Eva's best lines in the entire game. So we're not going to shoot the log, we're going to take the hit from the log, and we're just going to enjoy this line of dialogue. It's lovely. Yeah, we're going to just go through the last room. Same thing again. Very, very straightforward. So again, DJ, if you want to take over, go for it.
Yeah, so nothing to read really right now. Just I'm very zoned into this run. As somebody that's been trying to pick this game up, it's when we saw this game for game selection, this was just an immediate yep. So. Not really much else to say.
I am very glad you picked it. I submitted this and I submitted Metal Gear Solid: The Twin Snakes, which is the GameCube remake of Metal Gear Solid 1. Some people might know me more for Twin Snakes because it's the run that I did for Summer Games on Quick 2023. Which is another fairly easy game to get into. GameCube emulation is absolutely fantastic, so it's really good to get into. But there's just something special about Metal Gear Solid 3. Of every game in the Metal Gear series, this is my favourite game to speedrun. There's just something... This was attempt number 4 at this sort of style of gameplay. Metal Gear Solid 1 was obviously the first. Then Metal Gear Solid 2 kind of, brought it to the PlayStation 2 and perfected the formula a little bit. They then did Twin Snakes, where they took Metal Gear Solid 2 and put it into Metal Gear Solid 1. But then when it came to Metal Gear Solid 3, they had this one last chance to really perfect the formula of how this style of stealth game works. And for me, they just got it right in all points. It's interesting, the camouflage system works great. And obviously, we are very quickly approaching the release of the remake of this. Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater is on the way in August. It's actually the week before my birthday, so I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah, if you're interested in Delta, I can promise you, my very first stream of Delta when it comes out will be a casual run through. Where we get to watch all the cutscenes and everything like that, but I will be going for all the keratins on my first playthrough, and anything else. There's apparently going to be a lot of extra stuff. There may be geckos, the little ducks. It seems there may be secret theatre things to collect. So yeah, there'll be a big old collectathon on my very first playthrough of Delta. I'm very much looking forward to it.
Delta is going to be a fun time.
It absolutely is. We are on a deviation here. Normally, for this section, we would take a right turn, and we would not have to get involved with these guards at all. Come on, Eva, don't duck. But the keratin is in this direction, so we have to go to the left instead of the right. Take out some of those guards because they will catch up and deal with us. Our little froggy friend is down here. Come on, Eva. Eva, why do you keep stopping? Eva, come on. Eva's AI can be a little bit funky. Her stopping and starting like this is a bit weird, and that doesn't usually happen. But what she can do is, if you are too far ahead of her, her pathing can become very, very strange. So now I'm going to make sure that I'm only a small distance ahead of her. You don't want to be too close, because otherwise she'll stop and wait for you to instruct her again. As long as you're a decent distance away, then she'll keep following. But we're about to come to the end of this room, and we're going to take a very direct route to the exit. And if you are too far ahead of Eva, she can take all sorts of weird routes. Like this log that we're going to the north of, she could go down round the back. Even if you're over here, she'll go down. This log, she might go down. Whilst we're going up, she might go down. Her pathing is very, very strange. We've got one more room escorting Eva. This one. Going to beckon Eva to follow us. There's a guard here, so we're going to take him out. Take him out. Take him out. There is another guard. There's another guard there on other difficulties. I thought he was still here on very easy. We just don't ever interact with him. But no, he's still there. And we have our penultimate frog, aka the Freeg. We call this one the Freeg because we've got to wait for Eva anyway This is the freest frog in the game. It costs us no time whatsoever because we've got to wait for Eva to wander over. We can just shoot it over and over again. And those frogs, they're battery operated. If you shoot a frog enough times, eventually the battery starts to drain, and you can hear the frog draining. It'll start going waka waka, waka waka, waka waka, and then eventually it'll click and the batteries will die. And no matter how many times you shoot it again, it will not croak again. It's quite sad to hear it. Unfortunately, we don't quite have enough time to listen to one croak. That was the penultimate frog. We are about to move into the final room of the run. Oh, come on, Eva. Follow. Follow, please. About to move into the final room of the run. The final boss of the run. She's called the boss. And she has a frog as well. We have to play this game on New Game. There is a slight time save with this boss fight if you play on New Game Plus. It actually works in our favour that we have this time loss in all keratins, because it gives us a chance to shoot the keratin. At the end of this fight, because we're going to take her out non-lethally, we are going to get her camo. So we're going to put her into a loop. We're going to grab the easy gun. We're going to shoot her twice in the head. And then we're going to slam her to the ground. Going to take a stun grenade, put it straight up in the air, turn around so we don't get stunned. He does. Oh, I threw that a little too early and she stayed on the floor. Going to shoot her a couple of times while she's on the floor. Going to get back up. We're going to kind of have to reset the fight a little bit. We need her to run towards me. There we go. And reinitiate. There we go. Once again, shoot her in the head. And CQC slam her. And I think I can get away with... Oh. She's not got much health left, but she's done a runner, so we just need to wait for her to re-engage again. Here we go. At the end of the fight here, once I've taken her out, there we go, her camo has popped off. And you get about 10 seconds to pick up her camo. You get her camo because we've taken her out non-lethally. So you get about 10 seconds until the fight ends. If you play on New Game Plus, and you've already got that camo, the fight ends instantly. So it's actually a little bit to our advantage that you have that time. Time hasn't ended yet. We still have one small bit of gameplay. There's an unskippable cutscene here. But time, after this cutscene, we're going to go into a small showdown with Ocelot in the wig. There's no keratin frog in it. There's all we do is shoot. But as soon as I shoot my gun, that is the end of gameplay, and that will be time. That'll be marathon time. Officially for speedruns, you have to watch through the credits, and time is when the final score screen comes up. But the credits are 9 minutes long and are unskippable. So we don't do that in a marathon. Wouldn't want to put anyone through 9 minutes of credits just to see a screen at the end. However, it isn't until the score screen at the very end of the run that actually verifies whether it was all keratins. We'll get given the keratin rank. Obviously, we're not going to sit here for 9 minutes and watch the credits. We want to move on because you've got Sega Sonic the Hedgehog coming up. So instead, I will post a screenshot of my final screen to my Blue Sky, NickRPGreen.com on Blue Sky. So if you do want to check in 10 minutes time to make sure that I did actually get an all keratins run, then go follow me on Blue Sky and you'll see that screenshot there. So we are going to we grab the left one here, and time will be the moment I take a shot. There's a load of blanks. As soon as I shoot, time. And that is Metal Gear Solid 3.
Well done,
all
Snake.
Keratins. Well done, Snake. We don't usually let that play out. We want to get to the credits as quickly as possible. I'm going to mute the audio again because these credits will hit you with a copyright strike. Because Konami is Konami and Konami is the worst. So that was it. Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater, all keratin frogs. It's a really, really fun run. If you are already a runner of Metal Gear Solid 3, you really enjoy Very Easy, but you'd like to do something else with it, then give all keratins a go, because it's a lot of fun. It gets you into a few extra rooms that you wouldn't normally do, and some of the things get changed up. The end fight in particular is a big deviation from the normal 90% run. If you've not played Metal Gear Solid 3 before, you want to learn to speedrun it, as I said earlier, you can find a tutorial for very easy any percent on my YouTube channel. It's a very, very easy game to get into, and it's a lot of fun. I absolutely love this game. It's my favorite Metal Gear game. I've speedrun it in so many different marathons and stuff, and we'll continue to showcase it because it is just fantastic. And as I said before, we look forward very much so to the remake coming out in August. But that's going to be it from me. Follow me, twitch.tv/NickRPGreen. I stream every Tuesday and Thursday. This, other games in the Metal Gear series, and lots of other games as well. Yeah, thank you very much, Speedromizer, for just letting me have the opportunity to showcase the game, even though I was teaching it. But yeah, with that, I will hand you back over to our lovely host.
That was a fantastic run. Major props, and like you said, check out MGS3. The community is super welcoming. Just real quick before we go over to intermission, we do have one last donation, and that was from Killed the Joke that said, for $50. It says, "Congrats, Nick, on the run. Now cross my fingers I can match your time for Metal Gear 2." And that was for Disney's Extreme Skate Adventure bonus Nokia mission. We are at $599.99. Please, somebody donate $1. All right. Stick around. We'll be right back.